All right, well, today I wanted to go through 10 signs that a woman is not attracted to you. Some of these will be like painfully obvious, but other signs are more subtle. Learning when a woman is not attracted to you is very paramount because it allows you to save time and focus on talking to women that do find you attractive. These signs will help you determine whether or not a girl is into you and when to ultimately cut your losses. Number one, she gives you like this disgusted stink face, like she just smelled a nasty fart when you approach her. This typically will happen at a bar or club when she finds you very unattractive and off-putting. I definitely got my fair share of this look when I was a fat, balding, sweaty, putrescent sub-5 male in the past. It's a brutal look, but it all happens subconsciously. She sees you and deems you to be very physically unattractive and gets repulsed and kind of weirded out in your presence. I got this when I was at my heaviest, I would say the most. I found that as I lost more weight, I didn't get this look anymore. I found that younger girls typically will give this look most often, and the guys who typically receive this the most will be guys who are very, very overweight, guys that may be like visibly balding. Sometimes it's guys that have like a very unkempt beard or a very like unkempt hair. That's usually, in my experience, the types of guys where women will typically give this look the most. If you're like a normal, average looking guy, you probably won't be getting this almost ever. And also, most women, I found that younger girls typically will give this look most often. Most women in their 30s plus don't usually give this kind of disgusted look too often. Number two, she appears bored and aloof while you're talking to her. Her facial expression will not be enthusiastic. She won't be making good eye contact. She won't be showing much emotion, and her pupils won't be dilating. It's not necessarily a look of disgust like the first reason, but it's not positive either. She just doesn't find you to be physically attractive when she looks at you. She doesn't necessarily find you ugly or repulsive, but just kind of blah. That's pretty much what's going on in her mind. If she did find you attractive, her pupils would be dilating and her facial expression would be more positive and show more emotion. Overall, her face just looks very neutral. She's not excited and she's not necessarily repulsed. This will typically happen to mostly average looking guys. Number three, this goes hand in hand with appearing bored. But when she's looking around the room while you're talking to her, this is a pretty key sign that she's not attracted to you. This could be on a first date. Let's just say that you're sitting across the table from her and she is constantly looking to the left, kind of constantly looking to the right at people walking by or any noise that's made across the restaurant. She's not really paying much attention to what you're saying on the date, and she seems fixated in other things and people going on in that environment. Essentially, she's just not that attracted to you. Your physical appearance just doesn't do it for her, and she finds other people in the environment more attractive or more exciting than what you're currently saying. But it's mostly that she just doesn't find you physically and sexually attractive. This could also be a girl you're talking to at a bar or a club that's looking around while you're talking. Maybe she's distracted by the DJ or the music or someone on the dance floor. Basically, if she's doing this a lot, it's probably time to cut your losses and move on. Number four, her feet are pointed away from you while you're talking to her standing up. This is definitely a subconscious sign that she's not attracted to you. She probably isn't conscious of doing this, but when a girl has her feet pointed away from you, especially if you're standing right in front of her, she probably wants to exit that conversation as soon as possible, as she's just not that into you. She may be trying to find a way to exit the conversation. That's why her feet are pointed away. She may see another guy in the environment that she just finds better looking. She could have a boyfriend, or you're just not her physical type. This isn't always the case, but her feet are constantly pointing away from you, and it's a pretty good sign she just ain't into you. Number five, when she gives you one-word answers. You could be saying the most interesting things in the world, the funniest, wittiest lines, or asking the most engaging, open-ended questions, but if the girl doesn't find you physically attractive, she's going to typically give you one-word answers. Not all women will do that. Some women will carry on a conversation with you to be polite, even if they're not attracted to you. But women will give one-word answers when they just aren't interested in a guy. Because they don't find you attractive, they don't really want the conversation to continue carrying on. They're kind of passively hoping that you'll take the hint and just move on and go away. Think about it. If a girl found you attractive, she'd be asking you a lot of questions and carrying the conversation forward and giving you responses that you can kind of work with. Essentially, she'll make conversation easy for you if she finds you attractive. Number 6, when she rests her chin on her hand while talking to you. This one is not 100% foolproof. This will typically happen on a date when you're sitting across or next to her at the bar. If she's not attracted to you, she'll typically do this. It's like she's resting her chin on her fist and looking very bored. I can say I got this a lot when I was in the process of losing a lot of weight, and still had some fat underneath my chin, as well as when I lost a decent amount of weight, but still had some, like the chubbiness in my chin and cheeks from years of being overweight. And like I said, this isn't always the case. There are times where a girl is into you, but she may be tired from a long day at work. Maybe it's getting later into the night and she's just, like I said, she had a long day, but she's still attracted to you. This really depends on how often she's doing this when you're spending time with her and how long the date has been going. If she's resting her chin on her fist 10 minutes into the date, I've got some bad news for you, man. She's probably not into you. If you guys have been flirting for a few hours and she does this once as the night kind of maybe drags on a lot, she's probably still into you. The key is to look at how often she does this while she's spending time with you. This is very nuanced and you really need to read between the lines. Number 7, when she doesn't text you back for over a day frequently. This is usually a pretty telltale sign that she just doesn't find you that attractive. If a girl was really into you, she would get back to you pretty quickly. Maybe not right away all the time, but usually within an hour or two. Now, there are some times when a girl is really busy. Maybe she has a job where she can't be on her phone. But for the most part, most women, have a job where they're still on their phone, they're still texting. So if a girl doesn't text you back for a day or multiple days or a week, she just doesn't find you that attractive. She doesn't really find you attractive at all. There are other guys that she finds more attractive, and she's texting them back much, much quicker than she's texting you back. That's kind of the cold, harsh truth. If this happens frequently, it's probably best to move on and cut your losses. Number 8, when she gives you the "I don't feel spark" or a romantic connection text. In a nutshell, she just doesn't find you that physically attractive. Something about your appearance may have turned her off. Maybe she thought she was attracted to you from your online photos, and then when she sees you in person, she may not think so. Maybe your online photos, maybe she thought, maybe she found your face more attractive or, something of that sort. And she sees you across the table and she notices, maybe your hair's thinning, maybe you have some asymmetries on your face. That can happen a lot. Bottom line, she doesn't find you that attractive anymore. And this is the case in the vast majority of times. Yeah, there are cases where she may have been somewhat attracted to you and you just had a very boring personality or something of that sort. But the vast majority of the time, from my experience and talking to a lot of girls, that I know is that the "I didn't feel a spark" text happens when they just weren't physically attracted to the guy. Number 9, she avoids touch and backs up when you're talking to her. So maybe you're having a conversation with a girl at a bar and she's backing away from you when talking to you. Now, you may say something and take a step forward and she's slowly backing away. She's probably not into you. She doesn't find you physically attractive. If you notice this, it's probably time to move on and cut your losses and just move on with your life. And she backs away because she just doesn't find you sexually attractive, and the feeling of being close to you or, being touched or touching you is not very appealing to her. She doesn't see you in that way. So when a girl is not attracted to you, she's not going to touch you anywhere during the conversation. There will be no light touches on your arm, chest, shoulders, face, hair, you name it. There's a lot of nuance to touching, though. Some girls will be very naturally flirtatious and will be very comfortable with touching a guy they're into. Other girls may be, attracted to you, but they're just naturally more reserved and they won't touch you during conversation and will wait for you to make the first move and initiate touch. This is also one that there's a ton of nuance to, and you really need to, read the girl. And, like I said, not all girls are going to be touching you. Number 10, she only reaches out to you when you need something. You may ask her to go on a date or get a drink with you, and she always says that she's busy or that she can't make it. But when she needs something, she'll reach out to you. This may be a girl that asks you for favors like rides to places, help with homework in college, or help with something work related, or asking for money. Bottom line is that she just doesn't want to hang out with you unless there's a direct benefit for her. If this happens, just cut your losses and move on, man. At the end of the day, there will be women that just won't like you for whatever reason. And it's something that is brutal, but you have to deal with and just keep it moving. Well, if you've enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like. Feel free to comment down below any signs that you've noticed when a woman wasn't attracted to you. And feel free to subscribe. Until next time, ladies and gents, take care.